Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. I want to talk to you this Wednesday about children's health. You're here in my study. You can see my podcast recording mic, which is not on at the moment. We're going to do this straight onto the camera, but I want to talk to you about behavioural issues this Wednesday. So Wednesday Wisdom is designed to bring to you all the stuff you need to help improve your life, of your health, your family, and your future. And today we're going to focus on children's health. And the main thing I want to focus on with children's health today is behavioural issues. ADHD, autism, those kind of conditions which we'd love to give a label to, but seem to do not really much about. Now, when you actually delve into the research, there's no real definitive diagnosis or definition for these conditions. And when we start to look at the brain, there doesn't actually seem to be anything going on wrong with the brain. So the first question is, are these things actually really conditions? Or are they just labels that we've given to people's behaviour and innocently or suspiciously been able to medicate or do something about? Now, when you actually look at the research in terms of the medication, it's all flawed. There's no medication that has been proven to work for any of these conditions. In fact, they've actually been proven to have some pretty nasty side effects. So there is a time and place for some people for that, and that therefore is your choice and something for you to talk about with your doctor. But the purpose of today is to talk to you about what you can possibly do as an alternative to help yourself. So when we think about the brain, we think about behavior disorders, we start to think about the brain. And when we think about the brain, there are three things that the brain needs to improve and to work really well. Those three things are oxygen, nutrition, and stimulation. Oxygen, nutrition, and stimulation. Now, we're really working on children here. So when we talk about oxygen, smoking isn't really, or I hope not really, a factor in that equation. So removing from a smoking environment or smoking itself can help with the oxygen within the body. So let's take oxygen for granted. Maybe if you want to improve that, let's go out and get loads and loads of fresh air. Fresh air. The next one we think about is nutrition. Now, we know how nutrition can really be detrimental to our brain when we think about, when you used to go to your grandma's and she used to give you loads and loads of sweets, which you loved at the time, and you got really excited and super hyper. But what you didn't realise at the time was how your parents were cursing in the background because it had changed your behaviour. We know sugar can change our behaviour. So sugar's a really, really bad one. And sugar spikes and sugar lows and sugar spikes and sugar lows. And it's not just Haribo. I mean, even things like your sugar-free fizzy drinks have sweeteners in them that have been proven to damage the brain. So we need to really try and remove sugars from our diet. Something like the cereal people have in the morning, loaded with sugar. So it's a whole other topic to talk about exactly what, but sugar's a big thing we should be removing. The other thing that is very detrimental to the brain is wheat and gluten. Wheat and gluten are extremely damaging to the brain and can really change behavior. It's really interesting. They did a study on this, I can't remember what type of animal it was, but it's like a wild monkey, which people used to come down the side roads and people used to take photos of, but it started getting very aggressive, and it eventually attacked a human, so they had to kill it, and they autopsied it, and they found that the only thing wrong with it was the food that it had in their gut. The wheat and gluten started to affect its brain and change its behavior, made it aggressive. So sugar, wheat and gluten are the things you can do for nutrition. Third one, however, is the most interesting one, and that is stimulation. Stimulating the brain to get it to work, fire, and wire properly. The most effective way to stimulate the brain to get it firing and moving properly is through the spine. Your brain actually lives, functions, and thrives on the movement that it has from the spine. Think of this. If you go into a nursing home, the first time someone goes into a nursing home, what happens? They sit all day. After they've sat for several months, what starts to happen? Their mind goes. You see, the stimulation and movement coming through your spine fires the brain, wires the connections in your brain to function and thrive much, much better. So you know what? Having a spine that's optimally moving and functioning right can massively improve the health of the brain. And there are lots and lots of research studies coming through and countless case presentations where chiropractic had a massive benefit on things like ADHD and autism. So if you want to really work and improve behaviours in somebody you know, or a family member, or yourself, oxygen, good nutrition, and stimulation. And my question to you is, has that child or person that you know ever seen a chiropractor? And if they haven't, I would love to be the person to take care of them, or even just assess to see whether we can help, or provide someone in their town. You do have the potential to take control of your health. Wednesday Wisdom is all about giving you that control to make a huge difference in your life, your family's life, and let's improve the future of this county, this beautiful Lincolnshire. Have a great day.